What's up, YouTube fam? Welcome to another exciting episode of You've Already Peaked Gaming Podcast, featuring your host, Locarthemanbeast, and me, the DjLobsterDust. Make sure to smash that subscribe button, hit that like icon, and share with a friend. Drop some comments down below.
I'd rather us not be popular than to have to do that. What's up? Happy Monday.
By the way, if you found any value in this video, go ahead and smash that subscribe button.
It's really good for the algorithm.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Happy Monday, everybody.
Happy Monday. Happy Friday. Happy birthday. Happy past Halloween.
Happy day before. How to say this without getting political. It's the day before a very important day. Go out and vote. No matter what side you vote for, just make sure that your voice counts.
Don't vote.
Unless you're like Trevor.
Yeah, it's a rigged system.
It is a rigged system.
Yeah. Vote
but
local.
Our vote matters. Exactly.
Vote local.
It's not about everything from what, like state representative and up. It's all fucking rigged.
It's all rigged.
It's a fucking sham.
It is.
That's you can make a positive change in your community. Yeah, possibly.
That's probably the only thing that I would stand behind is like things that you know that can change within your community and your city. Like small, insignificant bullshit. Those are the things that you really want to look for because that's what's going to improve your quality of life anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, and I say that it was really fucking California. Yeah, right.
Yeah. In California, everything's fucked.
Yeah, it's exactly right. What's that Tool song? Just fucking Anima?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right in two. Yeah.
Oh, my good golly gracious. So you turned the big old, 31 this year? You're looking rough.
Yeah. I'm a rough 31. Turned 36. Which I only know that because I had to put my birthday in Google to ask it how old I was turning.
Yeah.
My mom's like, how old are you turning? I was like, I don't know. I'm somewhere around 35. She's like, really? And I think if it wasn't for I was born on an odd year,
yeah,
it really would have been hard. But yeah. I don't know.
I was gonna say, like, because I kind of forget my age a lot because I just stopped fucking caring. I think I hit 30 and I was like, I don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
Like the only milestones are on the 10 markers now. It's like 30, 40, 50. And then once you get to 50, it's like kind of, 55, 60. And then at that point, it's back to like every fucking year.
Yeah. Congrats.
Yeah, you make it again.
Look at you go.
Yeah. Oh, my
who would
God.
have fucking thought you're still holding on?
Because people ask me, I get that conversation a lot. Like, how old are you? And I just throw random numbers out nowadays. 38, really 34,
27.
Yeah. Like I remember
depends on the situation. You want them to respect you a little more? I'm 43.
Yeah. It's just one of those things like I just kind of forget. I don't really know. I told one person I was like 37 and then I told one person I was 35 and then I told one person I was 36 and they like it all came together like, oh, you're 37. And he's like, oh, you're 35, I thought. And I was like, I don't know. Just fucking pick one of them. It's probably close.
Well, your problem was they were all standing right next to each other.
Yeah, exactly. I just one right after another.
36, 35, 34. What? Combine them and find the average. It's probably somewhere around there.
Because if you're 36, I'm 35. That means I'll be 36 in March.
Like I said,
what the fuck? What have we done with our lives?
I know. It's
Al Bundy was like 32, had that house and all this fucking shit.
That was a hard 32.
Yeah. Oh. It was like Stu Pickles was like 28, 29 or something like that.
Once upon a time, we had all of the world at our fingertips, youth in our eyes. We dreamed of reaching the stars. And now we would lose our absolute fucking mind if we had one podcast sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. That one sponsor. I don't know if I could do the read though. I don't know if I could do it with the stripe. Did you not hear me at the beginning? I got you.
Oh my God. I don't want to do that. I gotta figure something out. Like it's not existential crisis because I have that like once a week. that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I need to change a pace, dude. I just need to change a pace. Like I don't know. I need to fucking start sucking dick or something. Just do something different. I gotta fucking get out of Sacramento. I can't do it up here anymore. I'm too old and I'm not rich enough. So like, I was just having this conversation with Rye. I don't like going out because I'm in a fucking college town or whatever, but it's like Sacramento. It's just a weirder vibe. You
can always go to Folsom. Hang out with those mid-30-year-olds.
Dude, see, that's what I need. I need a dive bar.
Craft IPAs.
Oh, God. No, I can't. No,
you need that. You know that meme of the guy, he takes his daughter for like your 21st birthday to this Italian restaurant. He's like, did you see a guy make a martini like this? And he's pouring it. He's all, look how high he's pouring. Not a drop. Not a drop. You need a spot like that where you can get real comfortable with the bartender that comes to pour you a dirty martini at your table.
Or I need a spot where every guy that walks in is in like shorts with a belt with his shirt tucked in, and every single one of them is the guy that goes, "Who let this guy in here?"
That sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, but it would make me feel better about myself.
Like one of those nightmares where like, yeah, but like in that nightmare at one point, you're like, I can beat this shit out of everybody in this bar. Bunch of tucked in pleated pants wearing motherfuckers. But then your punches do nothing.
Oh yeah, molasses.
Come on, like laughing at you. Come on.
The more you swing, the more you start to realize as you're looking down, you're wearing New Balance and tall socks. Oh, all of a sudden the bar opens up and it's Home Depot and like someone's doing some weekend thing.
Bruh, don't even. I love going to Home Depot.
The Weekend Warrior.
I can't afford you this shit anymore, but
I mean, okay, if I didn't have this job, I don't think building stuff would be so miserable. You know what I mean? Like, or like I could go to Home Depot and be like, man, let's do that. I'll build a table. I'll build a dresser, some shit like that.
See, there's the paradigm though. I don't have the knowledge or the skill set to do anything with those tools. So I'm excited by it.
Yeah.
You do, and you fucking dread it.
Yeah.
It's like there's no meat in the middle. If I wanted to do something, I'd have to watch hours of YouTube to like do it really shitty.
Yeah. Well, it's like I was talking about building a table recently, and I was like, okay, if I'm gonna build,
that was a real thing.
It was a real thing. If I gotta build a table, I gotta get very specific stuff because like I don't have a planer, I don't have all these things. I don't want to have issues with like leveling.
A joiner.
Yeah. I mean, like I can put dowel sets in and drop everything in and put a nice frame on it, but like if it's uneven or unlevel or the wood that you purchase does not have straight lines, I'm going to have fucking issues because everything from the machine is going to be a little off. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't want to have to fight that. So now I'm just like dreading how I'm going to figure something out like that. It's just, it's way too much stress. I fucking hate building stuff. I love building stuff. I hate building stuff, but I love building stuff, but I hate building stuff. It's just one of those things.
Once it's finally done,
it looks,
the start of it's exciting. The finish is relief. The menial in between steps when things just inevitably go wrong.
when me and Sean were working together up in Roseville, we had to build these mantles over a fireplace. So like you have to like we had a design that we had put up, but then they wanted like this crown molding shit around it, and like we hadn't really been doing crown molding at the time, and I was like, we'll fucking figure it out. Figure out how to like.
How hard could it be?
That was one of those things. It's like, I mean, I put crown molding on walls before, so it's not that fucking hard. But then, like, because of the angle that we had to do it, we had to cut it very specifically. Me and Sean fought that fucking crown molding for those mantles for like a week straight, like just wasting material. I'm like trying to explain to like my boss, like, nah, man, we just got to figure it out.
Crown molding's cheap.
Yeah, what shit we were buying was, the day that we figured it out, the day that we understood like where our angle had to be on our machines, where we had to cut things. I remember me and Sean both took Sharpie markers and we were like writing on our machines, like angles and where we had to cut. Like, oh, this is a left cut. This is a right cut. This is like your back cut, like things like that. Just so we remembered where those angles were. But the minute it clicked and then every single mantle was just like boom, boom, boom. It was satisfying. It was fucking satisfying. Yeah. It went from like 3 days of us trying to figure out how to put a mantle up to like having a mantle done in like an hour and a half or whatever. And it was just like, oh, it felt fucking good, That's why you pay for the experience, not the materials. That's exactly right. I mean, and it was just nice that they were paying us to gain the experience. Yeah. So then, but it was like, it was something so satisfying. By the time we were done building these apartments, when you took a step back and you looked at your fucking work, it was like, dude, this is nice. But the problem was also, we were looking for all the problems constantly, that when we got that done and we stepped back and we were like, oh man, it's finally done. The first thing would be like, well, that's fucked up there. That's fucked up there. That's you know what I mean? It was like, you weren't ever like being able to achieve perfection. And so it was always just looming over your head, or like, we think we got something done great and they'd come in and like tape up the wall and be like, this is all fucked up here. And it's like, you fucking cocksuckers. Like, what do you want from us? But and I think that's what like added to the stress of like building shit. You know what I mean? Because it's like, you'll never achieve that perfection with something. You just have to get something that looks nice and be okay with something being a little funky. That's why I don't work for super fucking rich people, because super rich people are the worst. Well, we really, really wanted this to be like a line print marble cast with like all the lines going to the right as it ended off this. Shut the fuck up. So. Yeah.
Raid Shadow Legends though.
I downloaded, I've been dicking around with mobile games a little bit too much lately. I downloaded the Pokemon trading card game on my phone. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. It's
all right. This is taking a turn. This is a sad turn. You said that you already had your existential crisis. Didn't say it was going to happen in the middle of the podcast. Let's reel it back in. Forget I mentioned Raid Shadow Legends and mobile gaming.
Mobile gaming is when I don't want to just sit at the computer. I don't have I'm not playing console games. I can't watch YouTube anymore. I've just been watching so much YouTube. I started watching The Bear. Have you ever seen that show?
Yeah.
Fuck, it's such a good show. I finished season 1. I was like, I'm going to go back and rewatch season 1 so I can watch season 2. I finished up into season 3. I'm like, yeah, this is a great fucking show. But I can only watch that so much too, because it's just like, there's episodes where all they're doing is just yelling for an hour straight. And I'm just like,
The Bear is like, it's shameless, but without the comedic relief of Frank and like Liam and shit like that. Like, it's just the stress of lip. It's like you're just, it's like if you could cut Uncut Gems into a series, but mixed it with like Burnt.
Yeah.
Because there's like the chaos of the kitchen. This guy is going through fucking hell. It's good, but it gives me anxiety a lot of times.
Yeah.
Like you're like, fucking come on.
The whole episode of the Christmas episode where like he goes home to like visit his parents or whatever.
Yeah.
Bro, that was like, it wasn't even cringe. It was just stress. The whole time watching that episode was fucking stress. I'm just like, and Jamie Lee Curtis killed it, you know, in that episode. She's just fucking losing it, getting drunk, and drives a car through the house. But yeah, because I'm watching TV again in like kind of small spurts, I've just started downloading random fucking phone games to just try and occupy my time. And I was doing like Sudoku for fucking a while because that's how my brain works. Just fucking numbers and sequences. So I'm
not judging. I'm not judging.
You shouldn't judge me.
No, it's good for your brain. At our age, we need to be working on our cognitive elasticity.
100%.
So I applaud you.
But you can only do that so long too before you're fucking just like, I'm done. My brain is not, I don't want to do this. So I downloaded the Pokemon trading card game. I started playing that and I was like,
oh, okay. We're backsliding again.
Why is that wrong?
Listen.
Do you have Magic on your phone still?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Do you do the same thing?
Yeah.
Do you play the cards against each other?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess mine's for grown-ups. Sorry, you're playing a children's game.
See, that's the kicker. That's the kicker there.
Yeah. The delineation is the confusion. I still don't know what I'm doing. I'd probably do a lot better on Pokemon, but it's challenging my brain to learn more.
Pokemon is much simpler than Magic. I will give you that. The difference is that I played Magic as a kid and I played Pokemon as a kid, where you didn't get to touch any of that.
Pokemon.
You only played Pokemon.
Yeah.
Did you have Pokemon on Game Boy?
Yes.
Everybody did, right?
I had Pokemon on Game Boy first. And then I was like, holy shit, they make cards of this? And then I started getting all the cards. And then I went to play the cards. And then, I mean, from my mom's house to like, I think Cameron Park, like Sam's Town area.
Yeah.
Was like the only place that would do it.
Yeah.
So it was very far and few in between. And then I was putting down I think it was a Zapdos. I was putting down like a Zapdos or something. And this guy fucking grabbed the card and looked at it. When he did it, he bent it. And then I got real fucking irked that he just bent my card because I had him in like, it was not like the sleeves that we have now.
Sure,
like,
yeah.
Little,
I remember.
Much little more than like saran wrap.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like my cards to look nice. And I was just like, I'm not playing this anymore. I can't deal with people like picking up cards to see if the fucking 4 lightning energy that I use actually is used in that way.
Yeah.
So then I just clicked.
Which is
and
also
then my mom gave them all away.
Which is also nice when you get to like the video game aspect of it, because you can just, it's all digital. I don't have to worry about spending actual money on packs and stuff like that. There's something nice about having a physical something or other, whether it's Magic or whatever the fuck it comes down to. But just like a stupid little card game, you know, that isn't Hearthstone or, you know, or some other bullshit. There was a on Game Boy, I think it was a Game Boy Color. Maybe it was original Game Boy. I don't remember, but that was right after Pokemon Red and Blue came out. There was a trading card version of the game that came out on Game Boy, and it was fucking sick. It was so much fun. It was the same. It was the same way that you play regular Pokemon, but instead of battling actual Pokemon, it was just the trading card game. And it was so sick. It was so sick. It was so much fun. So anyway, so I've just been dicking around with that because why not? Nothing else is entertaining. Which moves us on to the next point of
the next big thing.
Okay, the next big thing. I had my fun with Call of Duty, I think, for a little bit. I'm ready for zombies. I'm not setting zombies off.
I was like, I just spent all day downloading shaders.
No.
I swear to God, if you pull out on this.
I'm not pulling out. I never pull out. That's why I keep a coat hanger in my car. But the regular game itself, the maps, I fucking cannot stand them. I've just realized I fucking hate the map. If the game didn't have those maps, I think it would be fine. I think it would be a fine game to play. I fucking hate the Call of Duty maps. They're awful, man. They're just the absolute worst. And I don't know if it's because I only play hardcore and it feels like those maps were not designed for hardcore by any means. But
Could be.
I almost sent you, it was last night, I almost sent you a fucking Reddit of the Call of Duty. It was like, oh, these spawn maps are fucking awful. And it's just a dude holding a corner and people are just spawning in front of him and he's killing them. But his teammates are also spawning with the enemies. So he's just fucking rifling into this fucking crowd of people that just keep spawning. But his teammates are spawning and they're running past and then enemies are spawning. He's not moving and he gets like 20 fucking kills. And it's like, that's the state of Call of Duty right now. That's a map, you know?
So I downloaded.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, it took me a long time for Game Pass to just fucking even register where it can download stuff like that. Finally downloaded. Took forever for some reason. Got in and like shaders were like loading. And I was like, oh, and it's like, would you like to learn about the tutorial? And I was like, sure. So I went in. Omni movement is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
In two facets. Why it seems so impractical for like, it's like do one to the right, do one to the left, do one back. And it's like, you can't really even like aim, but I know I'm going to die to it at some point. And that's what's going to piss me off the most.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so stupid. It's so fucking like extra bullshit, but I know I'm going to die to it and I'm going to lose my mind. Some fucking dipshit just like just jumping around the map like a fucking seal, and I'm gonna die.
I've been watching people make dope plays of that type of stuff. You know, you see like some guys like Omni movement's pretty dope, and you see them like actually jumping and flipping around and doing all these crazy shit and getting these kills, and it makes you feel like, well, what's the point? I watched somebody else be like, my friends finally convinced me to come back and play Call of Duty. He's like, I haven't played Call of Duty since Black Ops 1. He's like, so I finally caved because all my friends were playing it. They wanted to do it. And he's like, I was so fucking pumped to get in. He's like, first off, tell me why the characters are like some fucking girl with like a pink bucket fuzzy hat or something. You know what I mean? Like shit like that. He's like, the other character looked like a fucking robot out of Terminator. He's like, and then the next thing is like, I see all these people flipping and spinning all over the place. He's like, what the fuck is Call of Duty anymore? And then that kind of like
Fortnite made too much money off skins.
Is exactly right. Well, not just like Fortnite making money off of skins, but like where's the fucking identity for video games anymore? It's just this homunculus of like everything is the same fucking thing. You know what I mean?
Music.
Yeah, yes, it's exactly.
There's no country anymore. It's pop country. It's all just some version of pop. So it can fit within the zeitgeist of what's going to make it the most money. Nothing has its own identity. And that's why when something comes out that is uniquely its own and it's not afraid to be its own, it's so well received and so heralded. Baldur's Gate 3, Elden Ring, like even fucking Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy. Like when it's uniquely its own, it's not afraid to be that, and it doesn't even lean into like the bullshit of the standard fucking battle pass like skins. Like skins. It can have skins as long as it exists within its own world, but you start reaching outside of that, it just becomes like pandering bullshit.
It makes me.
I feel
it also makes me feel like remembering to not follow necessarily studios or publishers to like getting down to the nitty gritty and following like creative leads and directed leads, like people that like, you know, are going to make fucking kick-ass games. Like Larian Studios with Baldur's Gate 3 is a perfect example of like, depending on where Larian Studios ends up, would be another video game that I would play because of how good Baldur's Gate was. Things like Kojima, whatever Kojima touches. Now, Kojima games are maybe not for everybody, and especially when it came to Death Stranding versus Metal Gear, they're completely wildly different fucking... They're on two ends of the video gaming aspect. You know, Metal Gear Solid was a very much a stealth video game, and Death Stranding has become more of like a playable movie, in that sense.
Yeah.
But Kojima himself is such a great storyteller that I play his games for his storytelling. You know what I mean? And that's where it kind of goes. When you come back to like the publishers and the franchises that are so, like EA and their whole thing of being like the future of video games is live service. And it's like, is it? Is that, You look at Helldivers 2 is probably the only company that has done live service relatively well. Me and Sean played Helldivers the other night, and we had fun.
Me too.
Did you?
It worked, Sean.
It worked.
He came into fucking Discord and he fucking lit us up, and it worked.
We played, and I had fun, and I was pissed off a little bit because I was like, man, they pump out these fucking war bonds so goddamn quick. I feel like I'm falling so far behind that like I can't play with the newer stuff or whatever it comes out to unless I dip in money, and it's like $10 or whatever. And like you look at it and it's
adds up though.
It does add up.
War bonds like
That's
that.
exactly right. And you're so far behind. If they started to introduce a thing, it was like every new war bond is like $10, but every old war bond becomes like maybe purchasable in game, or maybe not old ones, but like let's go like 3 or 4 back, like make it so you can purchase it in game items, or they just instantly like kind of put them towards the game. I feel like that's not so bad, you know what I mean? But like when I came in, I'm like, oh, I'm 3 war bonds behind, that's $30. That's almost the cost of what the game was, you know what I mean? And on top of me already spending the money on the other war bonds that I had, it's just like all of a sudden this game starts to add up.
Yeah, they start getting you.
And that feels bad. You know what I mean? It feels bad because I want to be able to pop in and just play a game, and not like same thing with like Baldur's Gate 3. I can just pop into Baldur's Gate and play. I don't have to buy a DLC. I don't have to download a bunch of shit. You know what I mean? The game is as a complete thing in its own right.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. That's what I want, And that's what, like, it feels bad as a studio, and I understand why they want this live service aspect, because it's the only thing that generates revenue, man. Like, Baldur's Gate has sold. It may still sell to new people that haven't played the game, but it's like, at this point, you're pretty much capitalized on everything. Your only options are for a DLC or a new game at this point, to generate revenue, to generate, like, keeping a studio alive. I don't know, man. And like when I go back and play Call of Duty, I just look at it and I'm just like, this game doesn't feel like a Call of Duty game. It just feels like this year's cash grab. And that's it doesn't even feel like a cash grab. What it feels like is, hey, we have to do this because this is what the community expects or whatever. But just so you know, this is the pre-alpha for Warzone. We're just making sure all the guns and everything are fucking equalized and ready to go. So when we drop them all into Warzone, that's where our moneymaker is.
Yeah. You just struck a chord within me. Because it's so true. It's just like,
it feels bad because it's not even being hidden anymore. Well, okay, like perfect example of like, and this is where like the gaming community is kind of like losing like traction. Do you see the new Dragon Age came out? And so there's been a lot of controversy behind that already prior to it even fucking making its debut.
There's something in there that I just want to know what it is. There's a lot of controversy.
There is
behind it because of the ones that I've seen are like, you have an option to like make your character have like top scars for transitioning surgery and like things like that. But there's something, I saw a reel where it was like, there will come a point shortly after it releases that people will have a big problem with this game. And it's something that people that beta tested and were given the game to do reviews on were told specifically, not because of spoilers and not because of anything else, how they would normally be like, okay, you can review it, but like, don't talk about this because it'll spoil the game. They specifically said, don't talk about this because know it's going to cause a lot of backlash when it finally gets out.
So
I want to know what it is. Do you know?
I don't know. So here's the thing. So it's out right now, like gaming. So gaming.
No, Sean was playing it today.
Was he?
He told me, he's like, oh, he just picked it up and playing this. I was like, you fucking cuck.
So the problem that EA did is that any content creator, any news media outlet that was like kind of already opposed to what they thought the game was going to be, or how they like were, if you look at the previous Dragon Age games, like Inquisition was fine. It was fine. But if you talk about Origins, even as bad as Dragon Age 2 was, if you talk about Origins in general, like that's what people want from a Dragon Age series. Even the people that like were kind of mid about Inquisition still enjoyed it for what the game had to offer. Especially coming off of Dragon Age 2, Inquisition was such a big like direction in the right way. Maybe not the best, but it was like you had Origins, you had Dragon Age 2, and then you had like Inquisition that was like trying to bring itself back up. But EA only gave review copies to content creators and news media outlets that were already in favor of the drama or the things like that. And so it was a very skewed idea to make this sale happen for this video game. But if you go back and you look at it, it's like it doesn't look dark and gritty like the original Dragon Age does. It's like cartoony, and like all the characters look really like just goofy in a sense. The combat looks goofy. It's like, it just doesn't look appealing at all. Like I love Dragon Age games, but like I'm looking at this game being like, I don't really give a shit about this, minus all the controversy and everything. Because like realistically, someone saying, I was watching something, he was like, but who cares about the wokeness that's involved in this game? Original Dragon Age had gay sex and gay marriage before gay sex and like gay marriage was legal in the United States. You know what I mean? Like it's been around in their video games for so long. It doesn't make any sense why people are so fucking like up in arms about it, except for everything is pushing this woke agenda. And so that just feels like it's part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though it's been doing it for so long, it doesn't make any sense to give a shit about it. But it's not necessarily that I think is what's driving me away from the game. I don't give a shit about the wokeness of it. But I just give a shit about the fact that the game just doesn't look or feel like a Dragon Age game. And the fact that EA is just marketing it as another live service title.
I'm a little conflicted. I don't necessarily, I do care about the wokeness, but only because it seems to be a metric on what lately you could base what game is going to be shitty off of, because they poured too much thought into that.
Yeah.
And usually that's been taking effort away from other areas.
Yeah. Yeah.
If the game was good, if you got into it and it was like, oh shit, this is a fucking banger. Like, yeah, who gives a shit then? But it almost feels like more often than not that a lot of times when I feel like they do it almost as like a gimme, like a gimmick, like oh, like you want to play this because it's progressive and it has this. You're like, oh, okay, and they get a lot of like quick sales because people want to support that, and sometimes it obviously like works against them.
Sure,
but
I also feel like it's one of those.
I can't say that I was a big fan of Dragon Age to begin with. Ironically, Dragon Age Inquisition I think was like one of the last like physical special editions that I bought, where you got like a big thing. Like, oh, this is sick. And then I went to play it. I was like, turns out I never knew what this game was about anyways.
Yeah. We go back to talking about like not following studios or IPs in themselves, but actually looking at creative leads. The person who is the creative lead behind this new Dragon Age game was the creative lead or director, I think, of the Sims games. So has never really
weird.
Yeah, never really made
weird.
Minus the fact that they are a trans person.
Sims was a banger.
It was, but when you give someone who doesn't have
that creator is trans,
I believe so. Yeah, whoever the directive lead is trans.
Then maybe they just wanted to. Right, Asmongold,
mm-hmm.
Who is not public favor right now.
I know.
He was saying, he's like, I don't understand, like why have top scars when you exist in a universe where
magic
these things exist and you could just become whatever you want.
Yeah.
It seems like you're pandering, but I don't know. At the same time, it's kind of like, what if you're one of those people and you want to feel represented? It's not a big thing to me.
Well, it was
if that helps somebody, it helps somebody. I just don't want it to take away from the game and that be the direction that they focus on.
There was a thing that me and Sean were looking at for a while. There was a D&D campaign or whatever where it was designed and made specifically to the characters were like a fucking person in a wheelchair, a person on crutches and stuff like that, like disabled people as characters in a video game. And the whole campaign was based around that because they wanted to have this whole inclusive environment for people that were in wheelchairs and stuff like that. And my whole mindset was like, if I'm in a wheelchair and I'm playing a fantasy game where I could be anyone, the one thing I wouldn't want to be is a person in a fucking wheelchair. Right now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. And maybe I just don't understand that. Maybe I do want to be represented in that type of environment, but there's also like the idea behind magic and anything. When I could be anything in the world, I could be an elf woman with big, exactly right. I'm never human. You know what I mean?
I'm a dragonborn with a weird looking dick.
Yeah, I pick always the most random fucking characters because this is the one time that I don't have to be me. But there's also people that play video games like that where it's like you could be anything in the world. What do you choose? Human warrior. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's like the most generic fucking like white bread person to like do your adventure with. And I get it. I understand the representation behind it, but I also just like, I don't know if that's, I think there's the next point about it is either the media only pushes that agenda or that's all they talk about, trying to like gain that traction of favor when like, it's like, if it's just something in a game, who gives a shit? No one's going to care. When you draw attention to it, that's when you fucking,
that's when it starts feeling like a gimmick, a ploy.
Yeah, a push, you know? And that's what I'm like, okay, maybe Dragon Age could have been good if there wasn't a bunch of all this controversy prior to it coming out. But then I started watching the game and I'm like, no. If you put Origins and this game side by side, you're seeing that it's a different game. At that point, just call it something fucking different. Don't sell it.
Continuing the legacy.
Yeah. You don't sell it as that IP. Sell it as its own game and see if it stands up on its own. And if it stands up on its own, one, you've created a new IP, but two, you're not just basing your sales and your push and all these things off of something that it's not. You know what I mean? Could you imagine if they brought out a new Halo game, but it played like fucking, I don't know, Forza? It's like, well, this is a racing game. Yeah, but it's in the Halo universe. You know,
Halo themed.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, don't do that. You know, just make a game, and if it's good, then it'll be good. And if not, then you end up with fucking Dustborn. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It just, it once again is a double-edged sword. Yeah. Some people want to have representation, and then some people want to exist in a world as something different.
Yeah. I also think
it's like Netflix is coming out with a documentary.
Okay.
Did you hear about this?
No.
About this kid that it's kind of like a heartwarming. He ended up getting this like not muscular dystrophy, but like something similar where like he just started like wasting away in his body.
Okay.
And when he was doing that, he found WoW.
Okay.
And he ended up investing all of his time, and especially like as his condition gets worse, like he doesn't want to go out, and his parents were like taking care of him, like why don't you go out, like we'll take you, we'll push you around and blah blah blah. And he's like, I just want to play this game. And they saw it as such a like a waste of the time that he had left. And then when he eventually passed from it, they started getting emails from like all of like his like guild mates and stuff. And they told stories, and they're like he led this thing, and like he was kind of a womanizer. He had a way with the ladies and blah blah. And it's just funny, like how like you see how some people want that their representation, but for other people, it is such a like an amazing escape from
normal
like the
life
situation that they're trapped in.
Yeah,
and you know they tell these stories, and it's funny because like his dad's like I never knew that like he he led a whole team across, like through the mountains in the snow. The torrential, like you sure? You're sure? It's like people like, we went through the snow, we went through blah blah. And his dad's like, oh, this is fucking incredible. I've never. Yeah. But anyways, they did this whole Netflix documentary that's coming out on it, on like the guy who like lived his life through that.
That's cool. That's sick. See, there's stuff like that that's like, that's heartwarming to the gaming community. You know what I mean? Because like, again, like the whole point about video games is an escape. Like, I don't play video games to mirror my real life. Like, yeah, that does not sound like something that
have a pay all of your bills simulator. Just like, fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
You're just.
My video game of choice is me just arguing with my boss for 4 hours on the phone. That sounds great, you know? You know, so I mean, I guess the idea is different strokes, different folks, right? Like, because at the end of the day, you do have situations where it's like, I don't like sports games, but there are people that are enamored by sports games. I guess there's something for everyone, you know? I think the problem with the something for everyone is that now that the big name people are trying to make something a game that encompasses it for everyone. You know what I mean? Not like there's something for everyone. It's this game will now be for
everyone. Will
exactly, and it's like it's kind of gross, you know?
Yeah.
Because and look at the look at the history of things. When you push certain agendas and things in video games, your video gaming community are the type of people that are like, I don't want that. Like, I just want to play a video game. I don't want to get hit with political things or fucking day-to-day stuff. Like, I just want to play a video game, you know? And then you get fucking things like Tarkov, where this stupid fucking event.
You can't play regular Tarkov right now.
Can't.
I found the way around.
I know. Rye was telling me you stand on a box or vault on something.
You can vault on something and like just take out the things, and then, but it's still just like a shit way to play it.
Yeah, it's awful.
They're just too tanky. If you're gonna give them unlimited stamina and you have stamina, it shouldn't take, even with like the highest flesh rounds, it shouldn't take that. It's like an ill thought through. It was like a good idea, but not a well thought through idea.
It is a fun event if it was only a couple days long.
And who knows how long it's going to be, because it's like they gave you your first 2 tasks, and then as soon as midnight hit, they give you your next 2 set of tasks.
Sure.
And you could start busting through them, but like, how long is this going to go on? Because you can't make regular progress anymore on anything else.
Well, and again,
Will needs to kill 50 scavs or something like that, but there's no scavs left on the map because the zombies are killing them all.
Well, and not only
the infection just gets deeper.
Yep, I was gonna say
infected Tagila is running around and killing people.
The fact, and like that was the whole thing that someone was saying, is like, you know, it's cool as a gimmick, but it shouldn't be like, think of any other MMO that has a holiday event. The gimmick isn't the entire game. It's its own like small thing. Like the cultist thing was kind of cool. I liked the cultist thing because it was at night. You already had cultists at night. So the fact that there was a thing that just made it more of that thing that already existed, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. The mortar thing was obnoxious, but it wasn't bad. It was fine. You know what I mean? Like this thing that just takes over the entirety of the map, and it's like, there's not enough ammo. There's not enough fucking, like your characters are based on stamina and food and like all these different things. Like not only that, but it's progression. Like I was saying the other day, there are some events in Tarkov that make me just think they're designed to fucking waste your stash and money, bring the economy back down. Right?
Could be, because it's doing it, man. Until I figured out the vaulting and stuff like that, like I'm just burning through everything, especially on a map like Labs where you don't get anything back.
Yeah, it's exactly right.
It's fucking.
And again,
I mean, even at that, I'm buying so much ammo. What? I'm going through so many mags. I'm just dropping mags so I don't have dead weight. Well, as I'm burning through them, I'm repacking what I can.
The next thing that Riot was saying was like, I just wish there was also more experience for the zombies. If I'm killing fucking 500,000 of them, and this is what every single map is going to be like, give me some good experience for this. Make it so it's like, yeah, it's an economy drop because I'm wasting money on ammunition, mags. I'm dying. I'm not getting shit, but at least I'm gaining the experience for wasting my fucking time with this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, on the flip side of it, this is the first time an event like this has really existed. So it's like, it's cool that they're trying new things. Doesn't necessarily, if they were like, hey, this worked out, everybody fucking hated this, so we're going to make sure every 6 months this is what's going to happen. Okay, now we got a problem. But it's like, it's one event for Halloween that's kind of shitty. And like
it's not even on Halloween anymore, though.
I know.
It's like,
but it's also like, this is your time for metrics. How many people did you lose during something like this? Because if I was a game developer and I put something out and I thought it was super cool, and then I find out looking at my metrics that everybody stopped playing during this event.
Of the people
yeah,
stopped.
Exactly. It's like, okay, well, don't do that again. Don't do that again. We don't want to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if immediately everything, like all your big name players, like, I don't want to deal with this. I'm going to go play fucking Arena Breakout. You've just lost, so much of your population to something stupid like this. It was cool because I saw Nikita talking about their new update or whatever, and they were talking about the recoil, and he was like, oh, we're changing the recoil, it's gonna be this, da, da, da. And the entire chat was like, this is fucking stupid, what are you doing? He's like, no, man, we're gonna, all right, fuck it, never mind, we'll scrap it, don't even worry about it, we're not gonna do it. And it was like, what? Whoa, dude. That was cool. That was cool to see something where the entire community was like, don't fucking do this, dude. We're just at a point where it's fucking nice.
That's bait. I don't think there is anything like that. I think that was a ploy. Because I saw that too. But he kind of had that like shit-eating, like, what are you like it. I don't think he sold it well. I think he said that just as a like we listen, like,
Maybe it's very possible. But if that's the case, then again, it's still favor for the community. Two, if it is true, and he's just like, okay, fucking scrap it. We're not gonna do it, because he was showing them shooting on the fucking game, and it was like, yeah, you can see the recoil bouncing all over the place again. And it was like, dude, you just got recoil to like an almost okay place. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you're not really like, and it's fine where it's at now. It's not great. Some of the guns are shitty, but like, it's fine. If anything, tweak some of the guns to match the recoil, but don't touch the whole system over again.
Yeah.
I don't know. Tarkov is one of those things where it's its own entity. You know what's another fucking own entity that's starting to come up to like, oh my God? Star Citizen is literally planning a 1.0 soon. I know they've been saying that forever, but like, I think they just pumped 0.4, and like, they're at a point where they're like really trying to move to 1.0. They have a whole roadmap for this. A lot of the community is not necessarily happy with where 1.0 is. It feels very much like 7 Days to Die. Like, we're just done making alphas, so we're just going to make it a real launch at this point. But there's been so much changes to Star Citizen right now. It looks fun again.
It was never not fun, even with all the bullshit.
The bullshit was making it pretty not fun for a while. Pretty not fun. Dying and having to spend 45 minutes to just get back, or doing something stupid and then winding up in prison.
Call me crazy. I think it was the perfect game.
I do too. I don't think you're crazy at all. I think it was in
spite of all of the fucking bugs and bullshit and everything and fucking being stuck. Was it a time sink? Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Probably the worst.
Yeah.
But oh man, I don't know if I've ever played a game that I had that much silly fun. There was nothing to do. It was just us fucking around in an infinite sandbox.
I have this. I think I might have lost it when the hard drive.
You said that, and I started looking around trying to figure out how I could turn right here into one of those like lock in, like, dude. If you just gave me a little bit of a storyline or like some like guilds to work for while you're doing stuff,
the fact that
could be the best.
The fact that they got fucking Luke Skywalker to voice one of the characters in the Squadron 42 stuff. Like, you know what I mean? There's a lot that they've invested into that story. Now, whenever Squadron 42 comes out would be, God knows at this point. But
what is Squadron 42?
It's the story mode for that game.
Oh, yeah. Really?
So it's a whole thing that they had developed.
So they are coming out with like a campaign. I thought this was just going to be like
nope, it's a full
open sandbox.
Nope,
like GTA Online.
Yeah, no, it's basically going to have its own story that they've been investing all this time and effort into. The problem is that fucking RSI is still doing all the shit where it's just like, we're just selling the next ship or whatever, and people are like, okay, like how about we get a fucking patch for whatever that planet is where I load in and can't see anything because it's an entire city. You know what I mean? Like shit like that. But
what was that one bug? It's like if you don't have a head, the helmet can't sit on your head.
Yeah.
So the helmet falls off, but then you suffocate in space. like you're like ah!
Remember the one where you fucking warped in to try and get us out of prison? You warped into the planet and then you had to like shove the ship.
That's what I'm talking about. That was like the most, even though it was such like a like stupid like in that time, me hyper traveling towards you guys just to get to the planet to get you guys died, went back through the thing. Like it was just, but like as I'm doing that, Discord's open on another thing and I'm watching all the silly shit and it's just, it was great. It was just silly fun.
It was great because it was just so simple. No. The game is very difficult. There's so many fucking buttons and everything, but like the concept of what we were doing was simple. Get in a ship and go to a place. That's it.
Yeah.
And it was so fucking dumb. And I had so much fun doing it. It's like that's the goofiness. Like I can, like even things like Tarkov is another example of like where like if it was fun, you know what I mean? I'd be all about it. But it's like now I'm just so sick of doing the tedious shit. Like I've been watching Aaron play WoW, and like that's where like my brain's starting to like transition back in this idea of like I just want to do something else. I don't want to shoot a gun anymore. And I feel bad for Rye because I think that's all Rye has. I don't think he has another game installed on his computer other than Apex.
Yeah. Ashes of Creation. I was going to bring it up. I was going to talk about it. I found out that it's like a $15 a month subscription-based service. I'm not going to play it.
They've thrown so much shit at the walls. There was a buy to play, there was a free to play, now it's on subscription. This game has also been in development as long as I've fucking known Sean at this point. You know what I mean? Like it's just one of those. It looks cool. It looks super cool. It is just not the MMO I'm jumping. Okay, did Sean? There's a game called Fellowship. Was it called Fellowship? The Fellowship or whatever, where it's a bunch of ex-WoW devs that are making a game that is just strictly the Holy Trinity, tank, DPS, healer, and it's basically just dungeon runs and like raid runs for like a small group of like, I think it's like 4 or 5 players or some shit like that. And it's literally just everything that I enjoy about an MMO without doing all the story, with all the grinding, without all the fucking like monotonous back and forth quests of I picked up a bread from Aunt May and then had to drop it off to Uncle Ben type of thing. You know what I mean? Like it's just the core
games.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Fellowship, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Continue.
Anyway, so God knows when this game will come out. Arc Games is doing it, right? No, Arc Games is the publisher. Yeah. Chief Rebel is doing it. Anyway, like I said, it's all of the ex-WoW devs and stuff that used to make fucking dungeons and shit like that. But it's the one game that has a Holy Trinity in it. So there's dedicated tanks, there's dedicated healers, there's dedicated DPS. There are people that have to play their role. And like you're going to go through a system in this game where it is very much so like your normal mode. Yeah, you clear the dungeons, you can get your loot and all this stuff, but then there's going to be a hard mode, which is going to be on a timer base where it's like, hey, if you don't complete the dungeon by X time, you're not going to get the best amount of loot. So then that synergy comes together where you guys have to play your roles correctly. You have to know your routes. You have to know the dungeon. You have to know how the mobs work and shit like that. That is the fucking game I want. When I talk about wanting an MMO, that's what I want. I want a game where you have to pick your synergy, where you have to choose your fucking roles, where you have to choose your group, and you have to have communication and understand where things are going on in a video game, right? That's what I want in MMO. Like, I don't want to do fucking the grind from 20 to 40 by just doing random missions running back and forth through a city. You know what I mean? That's not the MMO I want. I want the MMO that puts me in a place where I play the dungeons, I play the raids. I have content that throws me in that, where you have to do that type of like strategy and talking things out. And that's what sounds fucking fun. I don't want an MMO that's going to be a PvP based game as well, like Throne in Liberty or Ashes of Creation, where it's like you're gonna gear up, but at the same point in time the end game is just PvP. Like, that's fine, but it's just not something I give a shit about. Well, you know, or games where it's gonna have, you know, reticle based combat, and you know, it's this flashy BDO style gameplay where everything is on a combo system. It's like, again, that's cool, I just don't necessarily want that. I've been watching Aaron play WoW and the raids and shit, and I'm like, that's just, it looks like good fun. You know, when we were sitting talking about, oh, this looks like that's what this ability does. Okay, when this timer goes off, this is what happens with this ability. That shit looked fun. And that's all I'm ready for. That's what I want.
I don't know about this one either.
Really?
It just looks meh to me.
It looks like WoW. Careful. Don't hurt yourself.
It does. Very much in that like overly kind of like cartoony way.
Yep. 100%.
And that immediately just
so here's I agree with that 100%. It's one of the reasons why I think WoW loses its aspect on a lot of players and people. The overly cartoony stuff, or even like Final Fantasy, like the overly weebiness of it, you know, like I understand that. I can look past an art style if a game is good. I've played enough shitty fucking indie games.
You better prove it's good real close off the rip. I can, if you sink the teeth in, cool, you got me.
Okay.
I don't know how much I could give into this for me to be like, okay, you know.
Here's
like I was talking to Sean about, like, because same thing when we were talking about Throne and Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, when I was watching you guys play, like, just like the attention to detail and stuff like that makes me want to invest a little more time into it and gets me past that real grindy fucking like like set hay bales on fire shit like that. And I was like, when I was talking to Trev, when I was talking to you and we were playing WoW the first time, I was like, graphics are just fucking rough, man. And you're like, you were saying it's crazy how far they've actually come. You just need to get further into it before you start seeing it.
Yeah.
And then I watch Pat or Aaron or Sean like in Discord playing it. It's like, it doesn't seem like it's really come that far. And then today I saw like actually like the difference in the engines and how it has come a decent amount. It's just that art style, I guess, is what's getting me. They have changed. It's gone further and gotten better. It's just that very kind of cartoony.
So let me kind of preference like moving around the art style aspect of it. When you look at certain things, Gunfire is like a good example of a game where like it's very cartoony and goofy and animals and cute and fun, but then you get into the loop and you're seeing how to build like characters and like how to get like certain abilities, and like as you start to level up and like kind of processing things around, where like as the roguelite, when you finally fail, you got to start back over from scratch, but you gain that knowledge, you have that idea and the synergy that you're playing with. I think games like this Fellowship game is on that level of being able to be fun without really looking at the cartooniness of the graphics. By
Gunfire's first person.
You know, Gunfire is first person, but like
I don't gotta look at my character. I think that might be a thing for me.
Okay, that's another good one. Is like with any MMO, Mog is key. Mog is life. You know what I mean? Your character's got to look dope to do dope shit. Period. Like trip over drab every day, right? You know what I mean? But the thing is that when you take some of that shit away, the gameplay has to be interesting enough that would even remotely want to keep me in there to make my character look dope. You know what I mean? With this game Fellowship, if I had an ability to say you were a tank, I was playing a healer, Sean was a DPS. Let's say it's 3. I don't know. It might be 4. We'll get Aaron involved in this. He's DPS. Having just the conversation of being like, hey, this enemy has to move to the left, right? Because the next ability or attack is going to do X, Y, Z. There's a pillar you got to knock down. So as a tank, you then have to reposition that enemy. So now it's on you. And then after that ability goes out, there's a huge thing goes up and there's raid-wide damage that goes out. And as a healer, have to be prepared for that to then heal this up while the DPS are still moving and transitioning in a way that do DPS to burn it down fast enough. As that synergy starts to happen, that's what I'm looking for. That's the gameplay loop that I want to fucking have. It's where everybody has their roles, but it's that dance, you know, and we're just all dancing together. That's the MMO that I'm looking for that doesn't exist.
And trust me, like I said the other day, like when you describe it and everything like that, it sounds sick. It sounds fun, and I like it. I'm just looking at the trailer.
I know.
And I'm saying I'm going to have a hard time getting through. And the other thing is, I'm probably not going to be able to dedicate the time to it. That's the thing about like Ashes of Creation. If I have to spend money on a monthly subscription, I want to be able to put that time in, and I know with my career I'm not going to be able to.
That's the cool thing about this game though too, is that they've taken into that aspect of like, you're not really like, you're gear dependent obviously, but you're not really stuck in a situation where if you are not grinding every single day like a normal MMO, you're going to be far behind. This is designed as a drop in, drop out type of system where it's like you pick it up and you do the roguelite aspect of it.
You might get.
Yeah, because there may be tiers and like, yeah, maybe we can't push a 20 because you haven't been around to gear out, but still doing the same content or the different things like that, like is going to be interesting enough at any level that we do it. I've been watching Aaron and Sean do LFR raids, which is like the bare bones basic tiering, and they're still failing constantly because the group that's with them doesn't understand it or wherever it comes out to.
It's because they don't have Nuck.
That's another big one right there. But that in itself is like, failures are fine. It's okay to fail. It's okay because then the next thing from there is trying to figure out everybody learning together and understanding it. So even if you have to drop it down and you fail, it's not like when we were fucking grinding out heroics with the group where it's just like, guys, you know, the next move is step left. Why are you running right? You know what I mean? Like as LFR, it's just like, a bunch of people just running around doing the fucking thing. I'm going to get some gear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know, but I'm telling you what, right now, something's got to change. Something's got to change. I'm not spending money on fucking $70 main publisher fucking video games anymore. I'm going to play zombies with Chris and you probably tonight. And then I don't know if we're coming back to it. I'm not going to play Tarkov until the event's done.
Oh, I got my daily done. I got to see what the daily is tomorrow.
I have no interest in it. I just have no interest in it. I don't want to do it anymore.
I've
been playing 7 days like mad. I've been recording fucking 7 days like crazy because I got a wild hair up my ass to play 7 days. I just want to play 7 days, so I've been recording the series. I'm fucking plugging away, dude. I've got so many episodes that I've got already edited, ready to go. I just like, that's where I'm at right now. Back at home. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we fucked up Spoopy month. You're fine. You're here.
We did.
We fucked up. Yeah. We need to be more prepared for next year. I think no more waiting the last minute to record. I think I'm going to try and record a bunch of shit ahead of time throughout the year.
We should have started recording in like August or something like that.
Yep. Yeah. Because I just realized
we could have played Spoopy and Spoopy, but still had some Spoopy on the
exactly
downtime to have things ready.
Exactly right. Just had it all up and ready to go. I mean,
and October was a weird month.
It's a terrible fucking month, especially for me.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty bad end of this year. But I will tell you what, I am still holding Sean fucking accountable for streaming Mortuary's Assistant, and I'm going to record it. And it does not need, this is not a video I'm going to wait till next year. We're putting it the fuck out there as soon as we do this, and I want this to happen in the next
Sean.
couple weeks.
Sean.
Yeah, Sean. All right, let's wrap this up.
Kids, don't forget to leave milk and cookies out for the Undertaker for Thanksgiving, or you won't get any turkeys.
Brad's going through some bitrate issues.
Did you not hear what I said? Oh, no.
We're out of here. Bye-bye.